Welcome to this episode of Property Banter. We are joined by Chaitanya Mannem, or as he's known as CM in the hTag community. And today we're talking about, block your ears, say earmuffs. We're talking about unfucking your portfolio or perhaps not fucking it. Excuse the language, and I hope you, it's not exactly PG. But welcome, Chaitanya.
Thanks, Michael.
Mate, start off, kick us off. How to not fuck your portfolio, how to unfuck it. What sort of mistakes are you seeing that a lot of investors are making today?
I think how you purchase your first one is going to be the critical one, because as an investor, we all go through the herd mentality, especially when you're starting.
Is everyone buying somewhere? Let me go there. I want to buy there because they're buying.
Yeah, exactly. So, my friend bought Wyndham Well. I'll go buy Wyndham Well. Yep, I'll pay for a nice house, 800,000. Great, I purchased my investment property. How much does it rent for?
Yep.
450?
Yeah, no. Wyndham Val's a no.
But yeah, let's say if I go do that, what happens?
Yeah.
Why should I pay 800 for a property in Wyndham Vale? Because it looks great. This is what we do as a first-time investor. We want something nice. We believe that it has to look so good, brand new, great. Oh, we got negative gearing. This is going to be great for my portfolio. What do you think?
Yeah.
What will it do?
So the whole point is to not run out there and mess your portfolio up from the start. And if you're looking to buy, build a portfolio, buy your first property, you need to make sure that you're not going out there to save on tax. Okay? If you're looking to build a portfolio, make your strategy about building the portfolio. Don't make your strategy about saving $7,000 or $11,000 on tax and getting scammed like that, right? Yep. Or going to buy a property because it looks good, or because you've got a family member or someone told you should buy in Wyndham Vale, and we're using Wyndham Vale as an example. We're not taking the piss out of all of you from Wyndham Vale, but the fact of the matter is, you buying a $500 a week negative property, or $450 or whatever it is, to kick off your portfolio doesn't kick it off. It fucks it totally.
Completely. And this is the whole point of how not to fuck your portfolio. That's what we're talking about.
Because we're going to say fuck a lot in this
this one is
we don't really say fuck in this one. But I feel bad every time we say it. So basically, a lot of people are out there not realizing that the number one purchase, your first purchase, is the most important of all of them, because it's the one that sets you up for the other. So when I went and bought the 14 properties in 12 months, and for those who don't know the story or don't follow my journey, the 14 properties in 12 months was one after another of properties that got me to the next one.
Yep.
It's quite simple. And if I went and did buy, let's say, and we're using the Wyndham Vale as an example, but that expensive, nice new home with a huge negative cash flow on a week-to-week basis, that wouldn't have got me where I was going.
Yep.
It would have helped me achieve that.
Yep.
In actual fact, my building that, buying those 14 properties in 12 months, the portfolio averaged out at the end of that year at 7.5% yield. So there was houses from 6% yield all the way up to townhouses at 9.4% yield.
Impressive.
So when you look at that, those yields aren't around anymore. But the whole point of the story is, even at that time, that was still not readily available to the majority, and the majority wouldn't have found that, and the majority wouldn't have bought that, right? So there's no difference back then to today. You still need to look for that cash flow, because the cash flow is what allowed me to refinance, extract equity, and go again. Because what a lot of people are missing, Chaitanya, is when you extract equity. So let's say you did buy a Wyndham Vale and magically it wasn't brand new, and magically you do have $150 to take out of it, and you're going to buy another property. As soon as you extract the $150,000 equity, there's another $150,000 in loan payments.
Yes.
Attached to your already $400 negative, or whatever you've got negative. So then tack that on as well, and then you go buy another property which might be negative again, right? Yep. So you end up with just a heap of negative cash flow, right? So I think a lot of people have to understand that the more yield, the better yielding property you can buy, the more stronger the rental return is on that property. The easier it is when you go and extract equity out of it once again. Yep. So you're not constantly putting yourself in a more and more negative position, because today what's going on is it's not like the old days. We have less, like people are buying houses with 3% yield.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. Okay? Absolutely ridiculous.
That's Melbourne for you.
That's Melbourne. Okay? So let's not piss on Melbourne just yet, right? But the point I'm trying to get at here is Cash flow allows you to build a portfolio. It allows you to hold the assets. You can't scale just running at $500 negative per property, $400 negative per property. It just makes no sense. I don't care what anyone says. We want the capital growth because capital growth makes you rich. But the fact of the matter is cash flow needs to be there.
Great point. I want to stop on that, right? So,
Sorry, I was getting loud there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
I'm very passionate about this and I think everyone's getting it wrong.
Yeah. And this is the point. You stress this, but probably not enough.
Yep.
You can buy a negative cash flow property. You can buy a Wyndham Vale. You can buy wherever you want. You can buy Melbourne. You can buy wherever, really. But I think if you really want to achieve your goals, if you want to scale your portfolio to whatever is your target, the way you build it with is a balance of cash flow plus capital growth. You can't just chase one.
Yep.
Because only one of them would not take you to your end goal. It's about the balance. How you bring the balance and how you can actually grow is going to be very, very critical for you, because the moment you have $400, $500 negative cash flow a week, if you got 2 properties, that's like $1,000 a week negative cash flow. How many people can afford $1,000 a week? Right? So your growth stops there till a point where it probably takes 7 years, whatever, 10 years for you to reach a point where you're neutral.
Yes.
Any projection you go do with your numbers, in order for you to reach a neutral cash flow from that point, takes minimum 7 to 10 years.
That's too long.
That's too long.
No.
Are you planning to do that? Or are you planning to grow your portfolio to a point where you're comfortable holding these assets from a long-term point of view without really paying a lot from your pocket? Yep. This is the number one trick.
Yes.
For you to scale fast, it's the balance of cash flow and your capital growth.
That's correct. And we're looking for 2 to 4 years. I want to see a change over 2 to 4 years, like as we're saying to our clients right now. You see rents rise gradually. We're seeing right now interest rates being cut. We're due for another cut shortly as well, right? It's now October 2025 because I don't know when I'm releasing this. but you know, it's very important that we look at everything with a time horizon of 2 to 4 years. That's how I see a lot of the stock we buy moving into that neutral to positive territory. Buying something $500 a week and waiting 10 years for that to become positive. Yeah. That is so inferior as an investment. If you've got a $500, okay, let me break this down another way. How about this? If you have $500 a week negative, but yet you're doing that across 2 properties, those 2 properties are worth what? $1 million or $1.2 million in total portfolio value, right? I'd rather buy multiple properties and have that smaller cash flow, the smaller negative over more properties. So I've got a larger total portfolio base.
Yes.
Right? And have a smaller negative and still have the $500. If you have the $500 negative, $500 negative isn't the issue. The $500 negative on one property or on 2 properties is the issue.
Especially your first, second ones that you're purchasing.
You can't do it.
That will kill your scale.
But if you've got $500 a week negative over 5 properties and you've got a $2.7 million portfolio, that's better.
Yep.
Right? But starting off, taking a $500 hit because you're about to get $11,000 tax break or depreciation or whatever you're getting, whatever you've been sold, that's a very inferior strategy. And unfortunately, there's a lot of brand new property spruikers out there that are talking about that and buying off the plan apartments and all that sort of stuff. You should stay away from. It's the most inferior way to invest, and it's the way in which the majority of investors get caught up. Because when you have a look, and I'm going to go back to how I learned, and every month you'd have your investment property magazine and you'd read all the investors in there. And I'm telling you now, I've got a pile of these things, right? I think I've still got them somewhere. There's no one in there that just goes, hey, I bought 15 off the plan apartments and now I'm rich. I've never come across that investor still.
Yes.
Okay, unless he's the guy that built the unit block, okay? And congrats to him and his family, whatever they've done. But everyone was buying existing. Because this is how I've seen it. Everyone was buying existing. Everyone was buying cash flow. Everyone was value adding. The strategies are tried and true, and they've been done for years and years, and they're still the same strategies we use today with more sophisticated data sets than what we had back in the day. But it's still the same. The off-the-plan apartment, the house and land package person, they're not succeeding. They don't have the 10 or the 15 properties or whatever, or the person running to take negative. There's no point in losing money so you can get a tiny bit back. If I said to you, Mr. CM, I'm going to hand you $100 and you're going to give me back 20. Does that make sense? Or 30 or 40? Is someone supposed to be happy with losing the 100 to get back the 20 or to get back 30 or 40?
Yeah.
Like if I put out the $100 note, like think about it logically.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
Keep your money in your pocket and go make your money work for you.
Yeah. So you might not be positive cash flow right now in the current interest rate cycle, but I think you need to minimize that. That is the biggest thing. And probably apart from cash flow, the other mistake a lot of people would do is when you enter a particular cycle, right? If you take birth, for example, you enter 2022 or 21.
1, 2.
Yeah. So when you enter that cycle, the affordability was amazing, right? So the whole of birth, across birth, you could see the trend. There's a mega trend.
Yep.
So those who catch early a trend makes money.
Yes.
At the peak of it, you exited.
Yes.
23, you exited.
Yes. Yeah.
At probably 50% profit.
Yeah. 23, 24. Yeah. 50%. Easy.
50% in less than 2 years.
Yep.
You exited.
Yep.
Whereas those who bought 2024 or even buying
They were
now,
our exit liquidity.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're the back end.
They're the back end.
Yeah.
So look at them and what happens to their portfolios. They stagnate. You chasing the herd. Never chase the herd. Be ahead of your herd.
Be ahead. But we've got data and we've got knowledge to be ahead of the herd now. And it's out there now. And we're doing it all the time. You're doing it. I'm doing it. We're doing it for our clients.
Yep.
Right? You don't need to be jumping in. I still have people 5 years later come to you and say, oh, you know what? I love Brisbane, but they don't know any data set on Brisbane. Brisbane is going to continue performing. But they come to us going, oh, Brisbane's great to invest in.
Yep.
And I hear that sentiment constantly. And it is, right? No doubt about it. But I never got those phone calls in the late 2010s. They didn't exist.
Yep.
Every time you talk to someone, they'd say, oh, I know someone who invested there, it's bad. Same as Perth. I know someone who invested there, it's bad. And then once they hear it, then they start to become comfortable,
Yep.
right? And these are the people that are generally our exit liquidity.
Absolutely.
Right? So we're buying Darwin. When do we buy Darwin? Before anyone.
Before anyone.
Before the other buyers agents are buying Darwin, we're buying Darwin.
Even
you know?
someone to accept it's a good investment.
Yeah.
Even now, there are a lot of people who deny.
They can
Absolutely.
still deny. They can still get on right now, actually.
Yeah.
But the point of the story is we'll be exiting and we'll be out, just like in Perth. We exited, we're out. What happens is the people that come towards the second part or the latter part of the boom, they are essentially buying. They get that little bit of growth, which they're happy with because they've either been sold that by the buyer's agent or they've been sold now that it's in the media and they're confident to buy there.
Yep.
So then they end up buying there and they get that little bit of growth. But then that's it. That property then stops in terms of capital growth. It stagnates. They extract that equity and go again, and then they sit there. Go talk to plenty of people who bought in Perth in the 2000s.
Sorry, 2014.
Yeah, no, even before that, in the 2000s, right? They made that little bit of money, 06, 07 or whatever it was. After that, they sat there. These people were dying for you to buy their home for $260,000 in 2021. They were dying for it, and they were just happy to get out.
Yep.
And then what's happening is the smart money's getting in early because they know the data's there. They know that the boom is here. 16 years, no boom. Data set's there. Demand, supply, rent strong. Everything's there. And we're buying now. And then everyone else comes in later once again.
Exactly.
And they
the
get
same
caught
problem.
up at the end of the cycle. It's a constant pattern. It's about to happen in Melbourne as well.
This goes back to that concept of how not to fuck your portfolio, right? So I want to repeat
You just want to
this.
say fuck it.
Yeah, no, because this is what you do and you end up in a situation. Because I was reading in one of the forums today, right? So when the flight I was just coming and I was reading that, someone was asking, hey, what should I buy between Townsville and Rocky, for example? Great areas, yes, but look at the growth it had in the last 2 years, 40-50%. And one of the online gurus says, they grew, but I love Townsville still. Right? So would you go and purchase something around 650, 700 in Townsville now and wait for the growth to kick in?
It's an interesting one.
Yeah? Why would you do that?
Now,
You would have bought the same property for 400 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the smart money coming in.
Yeah.
But now everyone heard about Townsville. Everyone bought Townsville.
Yeah.
If you go and buy now, yes, there could be some growth left, but how much?
Yeah.
Right, so this is one of the mistakes that people do because you read in your forums, you read everywhere, your friend will tell you at barbecue and whatever, and then you go purchase something that was a hot market for last 2-3 years, which is at the top of its cycle.
I haven't had a look lately at a Townsville data set, but $700,000 for a house in Townsville right now when I can buy Melbourne, I can buy a Brisbane house for $700,000 with a good data set, right?
Yes.
Brisbane house, okay? I wouldn't be going Townsville over Brisbane at the 700K mark, like with Kenny. 600 square metre block, we just bought one, 710, right? Brisbane, right on the highway, like smack bang into the city, down to the Gold Coast, right in that corridor. Why would I go to Townsville over Brisbane?
Hey.
Right?
So the cycle is a very important thing, right? So as an investor, if you're really looking to scale your portfolio, you need to be very cautious when you're entering a market, right? Whether it had its turn or whether you're entering at the early stages, right? So because that would help you grow quickly. This is about growing quick.
But the interest, okay. Let's put ourselves in the position of how a lot of investors think, right? And this is a good conversation to have because a lot of people at home it'll help them be self-reflective, right? So a lot of investors are comfortable when everyone's going. If you know that our market's booming and you can see that over the last year it's had an immense amount of growth. And every expert on Facebook and Instagram is talking about it, and then the news is talking about it, and then
that's your time to
the taxi
exit.
drivers, that's your time to exit. Hang on, that's what we know. But the regular person finds comfort in that.
Yep.
So they're not investors, they're seeking comfort. And they get a little bit of growth with it. But,
this is the same
but
like
what's more
stock
important?
market.
Is the comfort more important or is being ahead of the game more important?
This is what I was trying to say. Whether you're trying to scale in the next 2-4 years, whatever, or you're trying to hold an asset because, you heard this, right? Because yes, it might be good. It might perform over the long term, okay, but does it give you the instant growth that you're looking for that can help you scale quicker?
Yeah.
Right? So this is about scaling quicker. And if you're not able to scale quick, the challenge is you're stuck with 1-2 properties. And then that's your dead end. Your negative cash flow, when you enter the market, is going to define how quick you can scale your portfolio.
100%. Well said. And that's the difference. And that's when looking at yourself and myself, me doing what I did so super quickly, even though what I did the 14 in 12 months, don't forget I spent, 8 years or 7 years or something learning property, buying and selling before I did that, right? You did $7 million worth of total portfolio value in 3 years, right? The difference between us and the person who just buys one and fucks their portfolio is the fact that we know what time of the cycle to buy. We're buying good cash flow assets. We're buying assets that are growing in value so that we can extract that equity and buy again.
Yep.
You know?
I think this is the other thing as well, right? So the knowledge for a new investor coming in. I think we all want to learn. That's fundamental to human nature. But I think where you learn from, how you learn, how do you analyze, is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
The people who can afford someone like an expert like you, who can grow together based on the knowledge, or others who can go through a learning course, find the metrics, or there are others who can do it themselves.
Yeah.
Understand the data, understand the platforms, are ready to put a little more effort than others.
Let's understand something. Okay, I'm going to say this. There's people out there that are selling courses that couldn't even pick Logan in 2020.
Yep.
Okay, let's understand something. If you couldn't see Logan in 2020, bro, I don't know what to explain to you. You shouldn't be teaching a course, and nor should you be charging $6,000 for it. It's a fact. That was the easiest low hanging fruit that was out there in Australia.
Yep.
The easiest low hanging. How do you not see that? Because you don't have the capacity to see that, and you don't have the capacity to see that because you're not half an investor. That's fact, right? You don't understand data, yet you teach data, you talk about data. Let's understand that people need to learn or go to someone who's been there, who's done it, and that's achieved success time and time again. I think everyone gets caught up listening to the wrong experts many times because, let's face it, the industry is full of them.
This could be philosophical, right? Unfortunately, the thing here is everyone projects to be an expert. This is the industry.
True.
And second, as an investor, even me, right? Because I'm learning, I'm trying to build my portfolio. When I look at them, the fundamental thing that we look at, I would become him one day. Right? So this is unfortunately the middle class dream of becoming rich. And they think they can become rich by following the footsteps. But in reality, the thing is everyone has a different journey.
Yep.
Everyone has a different starting point. And there is always a reason why you see an expert somewhere. There is a motive behind it. No one is doing you free service. This is what you need to understand, right? if the information is free, you're the customer.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true.
Like Facebook.
Like
if you
Facebook.
take, for example, if the product is free, that means you're the product. Same with all these courses or anything you see online.
Yeah.
So as a user, I think you need to be at least educated to understand what an educator is teaching. That means you have to do some
Yes.
homework
You do.
to kind of see what is bullshit and what is not,
Yes.
right? Because for me, as I said, I was also a fan. I was also trying to understand from a lot of people online who are trying to do this and that. But the more you go into it, you realize it's just fluffy. There is nothing inside.
Yeah.
There's nothing, no
Yeah.
depth.
Yeah.
But the good thing is once you have a market reach, you have a client base.
Yes. That is true.
And these people own them. This is like religion, unfortunately. Right? So I'm sorry if
Yeah.
going against religion here. But the thing is, every religion says the same. But we fight against each other because you just want to prove that you're the better one.
Yeah. Well, it's quite funny because talking about that, not so much the religion, the point before, but everyone's an expert, right? In our industry, everyone has. I watch plenty of advice, and there's plenty of good people out there doing good things, and I absolutely love that because once upon a time I was new as well, right? I became a buyer's agent after I bought 17 properties, I think, and then I became a buyer's agent. And everyone starts somewhere, and you see varying levels. What's hilarious is when you see some of the people that are the best known, whether they're selling courses or they're even buyer's agents, and they either you can see they don't know data, or you see one of these buyer's agents who's very well known and they're lying online, and it's like, man, the majority of people, it just goes past their head. But in our industry, if you're in the game and you truly know the game, you can spot what everyone says and who's telling the truth, who's the real deal, and where the lies are, and where they're actually saying things to mislead people. Like I watched one buyer's agent talk about how off-market deals are no good. Brother, what he's doing is he's trying to go against the whole industry that talks about off-market deals being the best deals. Off-market deals are the best deals. There's just two different types of deals you get presented by agents. You get a good one, you get a bad one. That's the world of duality. There's good, bad, left, right, hot, cold. There's always going to be good and there's always going to be bad. Going back to religion, there's a heaven, there's a hell, everything. There's always good and bad. That's the world of duality. So when we look at that, with off-market deals, you have good off-market deals. They're the ones that really pay off. Then you have bad ones. You have good on-market deals. You have bad on-market deals. But to sit there and just say the opposite, just to confuse people, just to do it to go against all the other buyer's agents, they do things from maliciousness. They do things and they provide false or fake information just to spite people. You can see it, and it says a lot about the individual not being true. Like, they're not being honest to people out there that are watching the information and absorbing it. And it says a lot about their character and who they are, that they would happily lie to mislead people. But I know that that particular individual who said that firmly believes in snatching off market deals for himself. You see the difference? And this comes down to back to what you were saying earlier. You need to have a certain amount of education in something to be able to see through the bullshit. So when you're getting quotes from tradies on whatever, you need to know roughly, it's good to know how many hours it takes, what they charge in general per hour, how long it's going to take for that whole job to be completed, what's materials, so that when they send through the $11,000 quote, you're like, well, hang on. I know for a fact that's between $4,000 and $6,000 for that quote.
Yep.
You have an idea, you have an understanding. And I think now we can see that because we're educated in it, but the majority of people are unfortunately getting misled.
But this is where, right? I was talking about, my friend did it, so I'll go do it. Because we all chase these things. And I think the most gullible ones are the ones who don't understand what's happening. You see in a picture, you see in a podcast, you see somewhere else, you see a YouTube video, everyone's an expert.
Yeah.
I can go start something and
Start
I
a
can
channel,
be an
yeah.
expert. Yeah, because
Some of the biggest buyers agencies now are started by people that just do content creators.
absolutely.
They're not buyers agents or they're not property portfolio experts. They're just content creators.
But they're good at selling a dream. This is the whole point, right? So remember, it's all about selling a dream.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you're the product. How do I get you interested? Right? So sell your dream that you can be me, you can be somebody else. This is what other people have done.
Yeah.
This is how you grow.
Yeah.
But as an individual, I think starting with where you want to go, having a clarity on why you're doing it and what you want to achieve is going to help you not to fuck your portfolio. As I said before, I'm going to repeat this because what I'm trying to connect here is you started with what is really that you're trying to achieve. Okay, what is the cash flow you want when you want to retire in 10 years, 20 years, whatever is your time frame? What is the money that you're after? How much portfolio you need to have that's paid off to be able to make that money is your starting point. If you're someone who's happy with 100 grand today in today's money, so what does that mean from a portfolio side? $2 million at 5% yield, probably a bit higher. 2.5. That's a 2.5 million portfolio paid off could give you realistically around 100 grand. It's paid off. If you buy the right asset again, right? If you go buy Melbourne, probably that is 2 properties paying you probably 40 grand a year.
No, but it's not going to help you.
Right.
No.
So, but yeah, anyway, I think what I'm trying to say is what's your goal? How do you achieve that? And what are the steps that you need to take to get you there? And you need to create the base quick. And with all those things, you are set up to kind of go and see how you can build your portfolio. And starting right is the key thing because a costly mistake at the beginning of your journey could set you back by 5 years, probably 10 years.
But it's not also the financial setback, it's the setback psychologically. So
and
I've had many of these
again.
myself. I've had many of these. You turn around and go, oh, property shit. Let me tell you something. I was in the stock market 2007. At about 150K in the stock market. And I thought I was a trader. ComSec account, thought I was a trader. No, I was not. I started losing money like you wouldn't believe. And I took whatever else I had and I went straight to real estate. And I hate the stock market. I think it's an absolute scam. But you know what? There's some brilliant minds. There's a little bit of insider trading, but there's some brilliant minds who might also be doing insider trading, but might just genuinely have a system. And they know the stuff that we don't. Just like we sit here as property investors.
That's where education comes into play.
That's where education comes in.
Right. So because stock market is not bad. It's just that
it's not our chosen game.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're not the best at it. So it is what it is.
If you're not best at it, you need to understand either you go like how you give it to experts there, you give it to experts here. Right. So I think fundamentally whatever route you take,
but it'll turn you off. What I'm saying, the point of what I was trying to say was, you make that first mistake. It's not just fucking yourself. It might actually turn you off from investing. And there's a lot of money and success to be had in property because it's actually with leverage. It's such a good game for especially in Australia with the market we have.
This is the Ponzi game we play here. Unfortunately.
It is. Are we going to go down the whole Ponzi? Because everything's a scam.
It is, but in reality, this is the point. This is the only game you can play in Australia. This is the only way. And the good thing is it's leveraged money. As you said, you build your portfolio. I built my portfolio with 100 grand. Literally.
Utilize debt.
Utilize debt. Every time, debt. But people could be scared of it. Sometimes if you can play with it, it can help you set up. Right? So that 100 grand could become $1 million in 4 years or even quicker. Right? So I think fundamentally, to summarize for people, probably start with why, what you're doing, what you want to achieve. And if you are there, then try to understand a bit more about property, right? What drives property? What is the data that you should be looking after? What are the platforms available there? Like hTag, for example. Everyone talks about all these data platforms, but there's so many amazing tools that are available today that are easy. For someone like me, I have no idea what it is. I don't even understand what was stock on market 3 years ago. I'm being realistic. I have no idea. But for me, I learned it quickly. And now I'm able to kind of predict which could be the next market.
And now you're sitting on a podcast as an expert.
I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to share my learnings.
No, it does. And it gives you the opportunity. And this is going back to me talking about all that free information that's available today on YouTube, on podcasts, on Instagram. There's so much free game and understanding of how to play this game online. You can't not educate yourself. It's the best and easiest time to be in the market to play the game of property. Simple.
Absolutely. Cash flow, keep it neutral, and find the right property at the right time. Don't go because your friend told you or someone else told you or your Uber driver told you because they're buying it there. That means you're too late to the game. I think it's important when you enter a market, if you need to exit, you need to exit. My best advice would be never sell a property. Hold it. I told this before.
Yes.
I think because the churn of properties is too expensive. It's
Yes.
not a stock market where you can quickly sell and go to the next one. Unfortunately, here there's a lot of things involved.
The churning of properties is not something that everyone should base on. It shouldn't be your basis for a strategy, I don't think. I have sold many properties and been amazing at timing the market. I time a market to the week, like nail it. Sit there and think to myself, I nailed that. That's perfect. I'm a genius. And then only 2 years later for it to just have a second wind.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't work. And the only person that wins there is the selling agent, the ATO, and everyone who had no role in you making that money takes a cut in the end, and you end up losing that asset. So I think be super careful about just running the buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. It doesn't really. It's not the best strategy in our game.
Yeah, unless it was a wrong asset, whatever could be. But I think it's important to hold your assets long term. That's how you grow. The compounding kicks in after a point of time, so you see the real growth, real wealth coming in.
Exactly.
I haven't built it, but I'm building it. But this is what I see, at least the
100%
game
right.
is.
No, done. All right, Chaitanya, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. I'll say it one more time. I had to unfuck your portfolio. That's the last F word. I don't know how many we got in. But thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Please share this with a friend, like, subscribe, and until next time, take care.